Welcome to Underqualified and Over It. I am your host, Alice, and joining me Welcome to Underqualified and Over It. I am your host, Alice, and joining me as always is Cindy.
Hello.
In this podcast, we are over-opinionated and unfortunately allowed to talk. So sit back, lower your expectations, and let's get into it.
Woof. We have not had I love you. We've not had an intro that bad in like at least 5 episodes.
I know, right?
So good. I love it.
My brain was just like, no.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to read.
It happens.
No, thank you.
Oh my god. Like a whole murder of crows just flew by outside my window. Hell yeah, dude. Just feeling very Edgar Allan Poe outside.
Very nice.
Oh,
I love how like that happened and it got dark on my side as well because my window
did it
went
really?
dark. Yeah. I think like a cloud went past or something, like blocked the sun. Because we're actually recording at a reasonable time today instead of midnight.
We've been doing really good recording at a reasonable time for the past like 2 weeks now, 2 recording sessions.
Oh yeah.
Well, we only did 1 episode last recording session because we were a little bit running behind schedule, but now we should be back on schedule after today.
Yes, hopefully. Because I have
it's only a matter of time. I mean, we're gonna be on schedule for like 3 weeks, I give us, and then we're gonna be back on, like something's gonna happen and we're gonna be like, well, let's change recording from this day to this day or whatever.
Yeah.
But luckily we have enough in the storage unit to last us for a while, which is good. And so I've been playing with my new camera. I ordered a new toy because I've been doing a lot of filming, and so I've been messing around with that, and I finally found a way that I think will work if I can get I might need to look up some like Boy Scouts of America knot tying stuff, because I need to tie a belt around my waist or like a tie around my waist to like get the camera mounted, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like a POV thing. And it works just fine as far as the camera goes, but like it started slipping toward, and all I did was make a bowl of ramen, but it started slipping kind of toward the end of my making the bowl, and I was like holding it in the back. I was like, oh no, don't fall off, let's finish the video first. And then so I've been messing around with that pretty much all day alongside editing and whatnot. So this has just been a long work day, and I'm going to continue to work until after we get offline, because I'm like basically until I go to sleep, because I have been procrastinating per the usual and not getting things done. So
well, I'm probably going to go food shopping after we finish recording and get some good stuff in. I'm going to try, because we get paid on the 11th, and that's like a week away-ish.
Yeah.
Give or take a few days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get all of the things that I need to make these like breakfast sandwiches and stuff. With the last remaining 60 quid that we have. And then all of the other bits and pieces that we need to put together with the rest of the meat that we have left over. So I think I've got 4 steaks left over. I've got plenty of chicken left over. So I'll probably get some stuff to make some ramen. I'm probably gonna get a big ass box of eggs, probably 2 big ass boxes of eggs. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make breakfast burritos.
Ooh, like freezer burritos.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make like a crap ton of them and just chuck them in the freezer. So all we have to do,
like sausage rolls as well.
Yeah. So I'm doing breakfast burritos. I'm doing egg, pesto, and mozzarella sandwiches on
pita bread.
No, the other one, ciabatta
Ezekiel bread. No,
ciabatta bread.
Damn. I'm like throwing out like
all of the different types of bread.
No, all of those are wrong.
They're all wrong. I'm gonna do some steak burritos as well.
Dude, honestly, I want to make some focaccia. That's what I want to do.
And I'm gonna do some bacon and egg muffins that are basically copy McMuffins, but they're not McMuffins because I don't want to get sued. But I can't get sued in my own house for making my own food. It's not like I'm selling them.
Yeah, I know. Kenny and I went to do some food shopping this morning because he came in and he was like, I had asked him to pick up eggs on the way home because I may have taken. So usually we get 12 eggs, and I will make us breakfast in the mornings. And so I had made him breakfast last time he went to work, and then we haven't had breakfast for the past couple of days. So we had like 8 eggs sitting in there, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use all of these, and I'm going to make like ramen eggs is what I call them, but they're just like marinated eggs. So good, by the way. But I did use all of our eggs. And so when he was like, I want breakfast in the morning, I was like, shit, we need eggs. So had him stop by the store on the way. But by the time he got off work and got home, like the stores weren't open yet. And so I went with him to the store because I was like, I kind of want to walk around, mostly because I wanted to look at the international aisle because that's where all the good jars are, jars of stuff. And I like to collect jars, and I've been needing some jars. They didn't have any good ones, so I got a couple jars of pickles because I need snacks for when I'm working and stuff. And I don't know what it is. I'm not as much as like I cook food, I'm not a meals person in my actual day-to-day life. I'm a snack eater. I'm a grazer. I will go and I'll grab a handful of crisps and some cheese and some pickles and some like cooked sausage, and I'll just like, oh yeah, this is a charcuterie board. That's what they call it. But then, like, I'll go in and have to eat, like, an actual meal after, because I do, like, food content and stuff like that. So it's like, I need to, like, make this whole big dish. And then who's going to eat it? Nobody other than me. So then I have, like, this big dish. Cannot tell you how many times I have gone through to try and, like, cook a dish, but then after I finish cooking it, I'm not hungry anymore. And it's like,
honestly, so many times.
It happens so often.
This is why I wish we lived. This is another reason why I wish that we lived closer, because you making all of these meals, I'd be around in like 2 seconds. I'm like, oh, you made food.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on my way.
I'm very food motivated.
There you go. That's what you need to do. That's how you start your reward-based system that we were talking about however many episodes ago that I edited today. You were talking about how you need to be more. Oh, it was the personalities test. Yeah. You were like, I need to learn how to be like motivated by things, because that's a reward-based system. That's what we were talking about. Because I'm a very reward-based system person. Like a reward. And you were like, I need to work on that for myself. And I was like, there you go. Start with food. Not allowed to eat until this and this. But the thing with ADHD is you'll forget
to eat.
You'll forget to eat until you're like ravenously starving.
Yeah. That's what happened. Oh no, because what happened yesterday? Yeah, that's what happened yesterday. So yesterday we were meant to go to our little shop that we go to go and play tabletop RPGs. I know I bring them up like every single episode, but it's a big part of our lives, so get over it.
Yeah.
And we were prepping our characters' backstories for this new game called Daggerheart, which was created by the Critical Role guys, and we're so excited to play this game. Giving them a bit of free advertisement here. Not sponsored, don't care, because I'm so excited to play this game. Anyway, so we're like doing all of that, and he's decided upon his character, and his handwriting isn't the best of handwriting.
His boy handwriting.
So he was like, oh, can you write mine out in my notebook? I said, yeah, sure. So I'm sat on the sofa writing this out. And I've got, like, I started off yesterday as well with a massive migraine on this side of my face, on like the right side of my face. And I was like, I do not feel very well. Because I was thinking, we're not going to make it to Daggerheart tonight.
When I texted you, I was like, you were like I was like, she's either sick of my shit and does not want to socialize, or she's in pain and like, or is not feeling good, or she's angry at her partner. Those are the only three options.
Because I was really short with my replies.
Yeah, you were just like, I was like, hey, you coming on today? And you were like, no. I'm like, oh, damn. Okay. Just checking. Because I was like, a little part of me was like, oh no, she's mad at me. What did I do?
No, I was in pain.
Cool.
And a massive migraine.
Glad to know I was right, kind of. It was
like 75% half and half. Right. But it was like 50-50 because I had a migraine and I also had him giving it, we need to do all of the backstory stuff for our characters. We need to do it now. And I'm like, okay, give me like half an hour. I've just taken some painkillers. Let me see if these kick in. And then he's like 10 minutes later, hi, are we doing the backstory? So I've just taken the painkillers. Like, oh, sorry, I'm just excited. I'm like, yes, I understand, my love. But
so I was 66% right.
Yeah. So I was in pain and I was pissed off. So yeah, I went downstairs, took my iPad down there, got it all sorted, writing it all out. And halfway through writing his out, I just got up, walked into the kitchen, went into the freezer and grabbed some chips out and just put them in the oven. And he's just like, right. What are you doing? I was like, I am hungry. I'm putting some food in. We'll share these chips. He's like, there's not enough, because it was like the last remnants of the bag of chips.
Like
I was like, there will be enough. It will be fine. He's like, oh, right, okay, I'll butter some bread as well. We'll have chip butties. I went, fantastic. So I did that, and then the chips came out, and I've got some Kewpie mayonnaise. So
nice.
I slammed a load of Kewpie mayonnaise on top of it, chucked it in a bit of bread with butter on, and had a Kewpie mayonnaise and chip butty. Oh my god, I needed that. When you have ADHD and you suddenly realize that you need food, and then you have the food and you eat the food, it's amazing. It's like you've been on a deserted island for 5 days not eating anything, and then you finally eaten something and it's like, oh yay! Hallelujah, yeah. I will live.
I'm not gonna lie. That sounds like the most horrendous white person abomination to ever be called a sandwich. However, if you like it, I'm happy for you. No, I would have to try it. I would try it out of respect for you. And then I feel like I personally would feel slighted. But that being said, I actually was looking into Kewpie mayonnaise because I was like, well, everybody's like talking about it. I usually make my own mayonnaise. Like if I'm doing something, if I need mayonnaise, because I don't eat mayonnaise very often. The only time I ever really need to make mayonnaise is whenever I'm making Kenny his like tuna mayo white person abomination. Because everybody has them, and usually it always includes mayonnaise of some kind.
I can one up the usage of mayonnaise.
Oh, really?
And I did it before Marmite decided to do it as a thing. As a child in the 90s, I was eating... Well, actually, was I? Yeah, just about. Because I was born halfway through the 90s. So at some point in the 90s, I was eating Marmite and peanut butter sandwiches. And that stuff slaps.
Never made it across the pond. Unfortunate. Actually, never made it across the pond. Fortunately, because I hear Marmite is disgusting. Again, it's one of those things I would have to try it.
I can't do Vegemite.
I will never hate on something that I haven't tried.
Loads of people are like, "Oh, Vegemite's exactly like Marmite." It's not. I don't know what they do to Vegemite, but it's not.
I don't know. All I know is that if I was going to try those things, like you're supposed to use them very like sparingly, like is what I understand. Like you're not supposed to like. It's not like peanut butter where you put like a huge glob of it on. Like you use it a little bit more in moderation, especially as you're getting used to it.
Oh yeah. If you're weak,
but weak. But yeah, no, I will never. I will say something sounds disgusting, but I will still try it because I have this very, I don't know, deep inner feeling that I'm not allowed to hate anything until I try it.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to say that I dislike something, I cannot say that I dislike it without trying it first.
Oh, see, I'm on the opposite end of that. It's like, yeah, I'm allowed to not like things. But the thing is, I want to try that thing anyway because I just want to know how it tastes. I have the curiosity side, so I'll eat anything. I'm just like, yeah,
I have that curiosity as well. Like, I will say that there are just certain things that to me don't appeal. Like, there are very interesting flavor profiles here in the UK. And a lot of starch on starch on starch, which is interesting. I am used to like a more like starch and a meat and a veg, like whereas I feel like here is like starch and a meat and a starch.
give me an example of something in the UK apart from like the bog standard like.
What that doesn't come with veg?
Yeah, go ahead.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips. Well, I don't consider chips to be veg.
No, they're not.
Like, because
technically they're a root vegetable, like but they're so far from being a root vegetable.
From potato, which is a vegetable, but it is not like having a serving of broccoli.
No.
Like, it's not green veg.
Fish and chips is stunning. And chip shop chips. Yeah. Chip shop chips are the best.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they do to them. I think they must put like some form of food related kind of crack in there. It's not actual crack, but it's something to. It's gotta be like some MSG kind of shiz.
The thing is like there's no spicing it, right? There's no flavor in it whatsoever. The potato is just fried. Just till it's crispy on the outside, but then it's still mushy on the inside, which as a chip, I don't really care for personally. I would like my chips or my fries for my Americans to be like thinner and more crispy, but that's just because
that's what
I grew up with, right? The other thing is like the cod that usually fish and chips is cod. Cod is also like not. There's no flavoring in the batter. That it's just flour and whatever batter, like whether it's beer batter or whether it's fried. There's usually like, if anything, there's salt, but there's not like.
The difference between regular batter and beer batter is beer batter has the flavoring in it because it has the beer in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's where the flavor comes from.
But that's like a very specific thing. I'm talking about actual spices.
Oh yeah, no, like, it's legitimately like salt and vinegar.
Fried chicken or southern fried chicken. You have in the like whether it's the panko chips or like whatever you're using to fry or bread your whatever it is you're frying, it has spices in it.
Yeah.
Salt, pepper, like ginger, like it depends again on what you're frying, but there's spices in it. But whereas here it's like there's no spices, and then all you do is like you squirt vinegar over it, and it's like I, as somebody who doesn't care for vinegar, kind of is like, okay, this is kind of bland.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, is you've got to think about it. Like fish and chips came from a time in like it's English heritage basically is fish and chips.
Oh yeah.
because it came from a time where we didn't have much at all. We didn't have any seasoning. We didn't have anything. We had the blandest of bland things, and that was the most exciting thing because, oh my god, it's fried.
Yeah. No,
it was revolutionary. Was fish and chips.
It's like a lot of like how pizza was made.
Yeah.
Like in Italy, having the open faced pizza because of the plague that was going around, and so they had to figure out a way to cook the stuff to make it to where like they could kill the bacteria, basically. Like, it's extremely interesting. I'm pretty sure beans on toast was also a hardship thing. Again, it's another like it's like hardship forces people to be innovative with their creations. And like, other than, I'm not going to say that America doesn't have those, because America does have interesting dishes, but a lot of the dishes are more of a fusion. And America as well is also a very young country. So a lot of the innovation that has existed here for thousands of years just doesn't exist over there, or it does exist, but it hasn't been recorded.
It's like, really? Corn dogs?
No, like Native Americans they have a huge amount of history and huge heritage, but unfortunately, as a culture, a lot of the Native American tribes did not record things as well as, like, say, China or Europe for as long.
Also, going back to the whole thing of, it's a thing of, like, where you don't have much, right? Mm. We are currently going through an issue in the UK where our cost of living prices have skyrocketed, right? I went to the shop the other day, and a staple item in a household from the 1940s, when we were back in World War II era type stuff, and they were rationing and all of that, is Spam.
Yeah.
Okay? Spam. It's basically all of the crappy bits of meat that nobody wants that they chucked in a can and sold off for cheap. Right?
After you would expect a lot of sodium in it as well.
Yeah. You would expect Spam to still be cheap for the regular customer due to the fact of we're in a cost of living crisis. £3.50 for a teeny tiny tin of Spam.
Yeah.
£3.50. A bloody luxury item is Spam nowadays. I am offended in British.
I'm offended in British. That's hilarious. Hold on. Let me check something really quick. Okay. I'm checking something. So if you go to no, I'm doing the Googling for you, so you don't have to. Divided by 6. So if you get a 6-pack of Spam at Costco, it's £2.75, which is not that much better. Is like 25p better.
That is still a rip-off for Spam.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's kind of one of those things. It's kind of weird. Spam has become one of those things that you're paying for the name.
True. And corned
like,
beef
you
as
can
well.
find tinned meats that are cheaper, but they're not Spam.
Corned
brand.
beef as well. That's like non-branded corned beef. It's like £2.50 for a can. I was like, you are? Excuse me?
Yeah.
Like, the staple stuff that we used to, like corned beef hash. Corned beef hash is a absolute cracking staple for, oh my god, we have nothing. We've got vegetables growing in the garden. What have we got? Few carrots, few potatoes, get them in. What have we got? Oh, corned beef's cheap. We'll have that. Chuck that in. Oh, mash the potatoes up. Stunning. Corned beef hash. Lovely.
Yeah.
And we'll use the gravy from whatever leftover we had from like 2 nights ago when we had such and such a whatever meal we had. Because that's what we had to do. Nowadays, people that's another thing though. People don't have the inclination anymore to, say for instance, cook a chicken and save the bones and then make the bone broth out of the chicken.
Let alone break down a chicken.
Yeah, people don't know how to break down a chicken anymore. We're not taught how to do this. Like back when I was in school, which was a fair time ago now, but hey ho, like whenever we had food education, so we had food tech, it was like, oh yeah, bring all of this stuff in and we'll learn how to make a cake. But I don't want to learn how to make a cake. I want to learn what they should do, really, and I'll probably write a letter to the MP about this because I think that this is a really good idea. Food education should be how to properly use nutrients within your diet.
Yeah.
It should also be how to budget your weekly/monthly food shop.
Yeah.
And get all of those nutrients that you need to be healthy. Because the vast majority of us, especially those of us that are like the millennials that are now have children and stuff, don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
A lot of us are just cooking whatever our mums cooked, but some of us don't have didn't have the opportunity to have a mum in the kitchen like I did. My mum was always teaching me how to cook. So I know how to make a fish pie. I know how to sort out a lasagna properly from scratch. I know how to do a roast dinner. I know how to do all of those things because I was lucky enough to have a mum that would teach me how to do it. Mostly because I was around her legs going, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, and it's also one of those things of like, we are in such a different time than our parents growing up. Like some of like especially the meats, right? So like doing a roast or whatever that you grew up with is like 3 times the price.
Yeah, it really is.
Gunner's snoring.
It's like I saw a video the other day of people going to Aldi and Walmart in America, and there was 3 steaks, right, in a packet for $50.
Yeah.
Which, to be quite honest, I think that's cheap.
Yeah.
But the size of the steaks
$50, that's for... Yeah. The only thing is, right, is like a lot of the stuff here in the UK doesn't go through the processes that we have in the US. Either you don't have the space to do the process, or it's not socially accepted to do the process. A lot of Americans don't really care where their meat comes from as long as they can have it, kind of thing. Now, if you're talking about you're buying organic, you care about how the animals are treated and the living environments and things like that, then you're paying a heftier price for things, but there are still cheap options out there.
Yeah.
Which the UK doesn't have as much, and if they do have it, it's probably just like lamb, I would think.
Lamb
is not as popular in the US. But like I saw a video, somebody had done a price comparison on, like Home Alone, the movie, the Christmas movie, and where he went through and he did the shopping for himself, and he had like $20 to get all of the stuff that he needed. He was playing big boy, and he got all of his groceries and everything for like $20. Somebody did the math on that, and that was like $115 now.
Jeez.
Just everything that he got.
So somebody like, speaking of Christmas films, somebody did the maths on Bob Cratchit's pay for a week. I think it was like
I saw that.
15 shillings or something. But in this economy, it's enough to buy a house.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're not even getting that. We're getting less than that right now. And it's crazy.
Let me check this really quick. Oh, sorry. It was in 1990. It was 1983. Was the $19.83. Now, the person that put this together, it was over $70. It was not as high as I was thinking. Yeah. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. This represents a nearly 167% to 264% increase over 35 years, driven by inflation in staples like laundry detergent, orange juice, and dryer sheets. That's absolutely crazy. That's one of the things that I want to do with my channel, is to do price-friendly things like that. It is a little bit harder, I will say, to do price-friendly stuff, because you have to also think about how hard people are working nowadays. A lot of people don't have the time or energy, and that's why they go for things like Spam, right? Because it's already cooked, or it's already mostly cooked, and all you have to do is like sear it in a pan to your liking, and it's ready to go. Or you have to just throw it on a sandwich. Like, it's already done. And people nowadays are they're increasingly overworked because of there's a lot of different reasons why people are overworked. I have an unpopular opinion as to why, but I'm not going to get into that right now. It is like, people want healthy, but they also want convenient. And the thing is that people are so, especially people like us who live in what's referred to in the nutrition world as food swamps. So you have food deserts where people aren't able to get the nutrition, but then you also have food swamps where people are surrounded by staggering amounts of fast food, ultra high processed ingredients. And it's interesting because the ultra processed stuff, which is not high processed, there's high processed and there's ultra processed. Ultra processed is something that has taken something that's already high processed and processed it again. There was a good example of it in this book that I was reading, this like nutrition book that I was reading, and it was talking about how extra virgin olive oil is a processed or high processed ingredient because it has to go through a process to get to that point. But then you take something like orange juice from concentrate was the example that they used. So what's happened is they made orange juice and then they boiled it off to make a concentrate. That's the process. And then they basically rehydrated it and rejuiced it again, which makes it ultra processed. And it's like people are eating and drinking things like this so often in these food swamps that your bodies become addicted to it. And it is increasingly harder and harder and harder to find ingredients and find things that are not processed, because a lot of the processes are food stabilization, like AP flour. AP flour is the most common flour because it's been stripped of everything that makes bread nutritious, because those things that make bread nutritious were also making it unstable for shelving. People were going crazy because of the mold that was growing in the flour. So then they figured out a way how to get all of that out to make it then shelf stable.
Yeah, that's one thing
that's crazy.
That's one thing in America that I just did not trust. Was Wonder
bread? Oh yeah, no.
I'm like, that's not bread. I'm sorry. I've seen like stuff online. I don't know how true it is, but I've seen stuff online of people having that in their cupboards for months and it just being exactly the same. And I'm like, I can't trust something that you can leave for that long. And I mean, some people will be like, oh, but you've got tin cans in your cupboards that have been there for a couple of years. Yeah, because they're meant to be like that.
Yeah. There's a reason why when you are doing long storage things, there's a reason why you still label it with the date. Because while something might be okay and shelf stable for like 5 years, it's not gonna be shelf stable forever, whether it's tinned, canned, jarred, however you're doing your storage, whether you're doomsday prep or whatever. I will say the bread in America, I prefer the bread here because at least you guys legally have to have your bread fortified with like nutrients. We don't have that in the US. Bread, I have steered away from bread for such a long time that I hardly ever eat it anymore. So we'll get like a whole loaf of bread and it'll go off because it'll be sitting in there like untouched. We'll make like 3 sandwiches because we're in the mood for sandwiches. But then it just goes off. And it's like, I don't eat bread enough to really have it make any sort of meaningful difference. But at least you guys have to like go back through and put vitamins and put things back into the bread. So it can't just be like shitty bread.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, no, there's a lot of things. People like to compare the US against anybody for nutrition reasons. And again, it's very, very interesting if you look into the science behind it, because the UK in some ingredients does a little bit better because of the processes that either don't exist or whatever here in the UK. But in the US, those processes still exist. They just don't have to be talked about.
Yeah, but also like, it's like the grand scheme of everything saying, oh, nutrition UK versus US, you can't really do that because the thing is there are so many different places in the US. The US, the way that my brain thinks about it is each state is its own country.
Yeah.
Really, if you think about it.
That's really the way you should think about it.
So each state is its own country. So, and each state has different things about how they deal with certain stuff within the processing stuff. But also you've got things like places like Louisiana, for instance, or like anywhere in the South where you've got different types of food that are all being created. There's so many different like nationality type based foods that are all over America that we just don't have here.
Yeah.
Because of how big it is. And the nutrition is completely different in each and every state because of all of the different types of food that they're creating. So, like Texas is like famous for their barbecue.
Yeah.
And it's completely different to, oh yeah, I'm just going to get my barbecue out and chuck some meat on it. No, mate. I love a good Texan barbecue. I wish there was a way. There probably is a way that I could do it over here. I want to but I don't know what the laws are like within my area and stuff like that about having like a smoker outside of my house.
Yeah,
because
they probably would give you a citation for like air pollution or some shit.
I would love a smoker. Absolutely love to have a smoker so I can make some brisket and I could make like loads of stuff. Because there's been so many recipes online that are American recipes that I cannot do because I either need brisket or I need a smoker to smoke my meat for like 3 days or whatever. And I'm like, I can't do that. And I really want to because that makes the meat so good.
Well, and the thing you have to also think of, going back to talking about like each state is kind of its own country and has different processes and things like that. The FDA is a federal thing. So that's all of the states. And regardless of whether it is a company or it is a federal body, like a governmental body, the bigger anything gets, the more likely things are to slip through the cracks, right? So you have these these states and things that maybe have like a smaller, more quote unquote tight knit community, but then you have the FDA that oversees everything. And because it's such a big organization trying to oversee so much, that's why a lot of the like skincare that you see, that I get mine from Korea, because I'm not dealing with that shit, because a lot of the ingredients, the FDA, they can't get through the ingredients list fast enough. The skincare ingredients list has not been updated since the 50s, just because the FDA is already trying to do so much and it's spread so thin because America is such a big country. Whereas here in the UK, you do still have the same processes that the FDA uses. The main difference is that you guys have to put whatever processes it went through on the packaging.
Yeah.
And that's it. But this is a small enough country that you're able to do
that. What California are doing at the minute, I've noticed, where if there is anything that could create carcinogens, they have to put a warning label on the packet that says this could cause cancer. Because it has an ingredient in it that is classed as it could, it might not, but it might, so we've got to cover our asses. I'm sure it was California. It was one of the states.
So it looks like here, and there's just again cursory Google, they had that already in California as a California law since 1986, but they updated it in like 2025, 2026. Short form warnings must now name at least one chemical that triggers the warning. So basically, like if you have 5 ingredients in it that could cause that issue, you have to name on the short form. So meaning like the red stop, red light, green light, yellow, amber light thing that you guys have on your packaging, which actually I love that because it's like at a glance, what are my sugars, what are my proteins, and how good are they? It's a color-based system. It works really well. It lets you know what the package that you're buying has, like, it is. I love it. I think that America needs to do something like that. But again, it's such a big thing. That would be what's considered a short form warning. It's just something quick that people can look at and they're like, oh, okay. So basically California has put like, oh, in the red light, green light area, it has to have at least one of those chemicals, which again, that opens loopholes for companies to then exploit, being like, oh, we can pack all of these chemicals into here.
Yeah.
And then we only have to name one, which again is better than not having to name any.
True.
But it's like these huge industry food companies are constantly looking for ways to not only get the cheapest products, but make the most money out of them. And a lot of that, unfortunately, comes from the exploitation of third world countries. There was a study that was done by, I keep referring back to this book that I got. Hold on.
While we're on a break, we're going to continue talking about this until the end of the episode, because this has turned into a very good episode.
Well, you brought up something that I enjoy talking about. It is like nutrition and food and all of that stuff.
I love it. This is great.
It's called Ultra Processed People by Chris Van Tulleken. He's from the UK, and he basically did a study with his other like nutrition people, and he spent a month on an ultra processed diet where one of the ingredients had to be ultra processed and a month off of the diet. And like the differences between it and like how his body reacted. And but he went, either he went or he talked to somebody who went. It is because these ingredients are a lot cheaper to manufacture. A lot of the lower income countries, especially in South America, are continually exploited. And then on top of that, ultra processed food is addictive. It tickles something in your brain and it makes you want to overconsume it, which we have more of an ability to step away from that here in the UK and in a lot of the US. Most of Europe has the ability to make healthy choices, right? Whether we like how expensive the healthier choices are or not, whether it takes us more effort to make food or not, we have more of an option than a lot of other places do, where they literally can't get ingredients sent, like healthier ingredients sent to them or like imported, because they just, as a country, don't have the financing to do that. I'm sure that there are many, many, many countries all over the world. I say South America specifically because that's where he went in this book and he was talking about. It is a very interesting read, and it will make you think twice about what it is that you're putting into your body, for sure. Because, I mean, nutrition will mess up everything from hormones to how you perceive yourself emotionally. Yeah. Like, it's crazy.
And it's like when you said about the whole thing of us being in like a food swamp. Another problem with being in a food swamp is having that much choice is detrimental to you. Because the thing is, if you are working 9 to 5s, 7 days a week, this, that, and the other, and you don't have time, like you said earlier, you are running straight to the what I like to call them is pop-de-pings. Or pingdings. Pop-de-ping is that it was a viral thing that I don't think it's true. I've talked to a couple of Welsh people. It went round a while ago that pop-de-ping was the Welsh word for microwave. And it's not. It was
wouldn't
viral.
Surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me either, but apparently not.
There are many many languages that use like the sound that something makes as the word.
I like calling microwavable meals pingdings. Ping-ding dinners.
And ping-ding-ding.
We used to eat a lot of them because they were easy to get and easy to chuck in and all of that. Especially when I was
cheap for the amount that you would
get. They were cheap. Especially when I was working really stupid hours, because some days I was on like 5 o'clock in the morning till 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and then other days I was on from 12 till like 11, and I was like all over the place kind of stuff. So it was one of them where it was just easier to do that. But that's the thing. There's so many different, and they're all terrible. When you eat cheap microwavable meals, they taste horrible. But the thing is, a lot of people are so badly in poverty and also haven't been taught how to, again, budget their meal plans properly, do like meal prep, and all of that, so that they've got all of that stuff. They haven't been taught that. Like my mum was saying the other week, she said, well, back in the day when I was your age, I was in a bed sit. I used to live in a bed sit, and what I used to do is one day a week I would sit and I would cook all of my meals for the month. I would go out, go to the shop, I would buy everything that I needed to make all of the meals that I needed for a month, and then it'd all go in the freezer. And all I'd have to do is take it out of the freezer and chuck it in whatever I was doing. I'd make my own microwavable meals that tasted good and they were more nutritious for me. But the thing is, people aren't taught how to make that food anymore.
What's a bed sit?
A bedsit. So a bedsit is where you share. It's like a house share. So it's a house where you rent one of the rooms. You share the kitchen, you share the bathroom, and usually there isn't a living room because all of the rooms are taken up by people that are living in there. That's what a bedsit is.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's what I used to what I used to have as at uni. What do they call it now? They call it H. I don't know. What they call. What do they?
We don't have those in the US that I've ever seen. Like, if you're doing something like that, you're renting a room in a house that has like a standard like living room kitchen thing that was built forever ago, and now the people are just renting out rooms to like college students. So,
it's called a HO something. HO.
Homeowners Association.
It's basically house shares, flat shares.
I'll have to get into Sims. And
it's a HMO. HMO. HMO meaning. So, house in multiple occupation is what it means. So it's a house that has multiple tenants in it. Is what they're calling it now. But back in the day, it used to be either a house sit or a bed sit or or a house share is what it was.
And these were buildings that were designed to be lived in this way.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Okay. They were a house that was just, I'm a landlord and I'm going to slap a lock on that door. I'm going to slap a lock on that door.
Well, they have houses like that in the US as well, but they'd still have like a living room common area. It's weird.
Yeah, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't.
The buildings here have doors to every room, so it would make sense that the living room would be transformed into
it depends on if the living room and kitchen in that building are like the same room, or they have like the building has a dining room kitchen. That's a different thing. Then they'll probably put a social area in there, and the kitchen dining room will be a social area, or the kitchen living room will be the social area.
Honestly, that's one of the other things that kind of wigs me out and like it kind of gets my nutrition down living here in the UK is there's no space for like storing things. Like, you've seen how small my kitchen is. I'm used to like doing that thing where you buy all of your groceries and you do that whole thing and then you chop them up and you divide them up, you do all the cooking in one fell swoop, and then you put it into the freezer. But the freezers here are not big enough to be able to do that with.
Not unless you got a chest freezer.
Yeah, like I mean, I've had small freezers in the past, but still my freezers were bigger than like the stuff that you have now, like here anyway.
Yeah, so I'm lucky now, whereas I have now, well, once I've sorted out underneath my stairs, I've got enough space to have a fridge freezer in my kitchen and an extra drawer freezer that I have from when we used to live in the old house, because I've not got rid of it yet because I didn't have a chance to. I've not got round to get rid of it. And now that I was like, let's get rid of that for a little bit extra money, like 45 quid, whatever. We were actually going, you know what? Actually, let's keep that. We'll do all of our like meal plans and stuff, and we'll get like meal prep and stuff in that freezer. And then anything else can go in the other freezer. And I was like, right, okay, we'll do that then. So we're in the middle of like redoing downstairs. I'm redoing the living room so that it's nice. Because I've got a weird sofa that's like a corner sofa that we don't actually have it in a corner at the minute, because the only corner that it's going to be able to go in is where the front door is. But on the other hand, we don't use our front door. We use the back door most of the time. So we've just turned around and went, eradicate the front door. If we're getting parcels or anything, we'll just have to like note down that they can come around the back.
Does not exist. Yeah. Yeah. It's very like but then also on top of having like a chest freezer here in the UK, you are paying an exorbitant fee to have a chest freezer. It's the same reason why you guys don't have tumble dryers, is because they're too expensive when it comes to when the government calculates how much money you owe them for like electricity and shit. And so it's like, are you actually saving money by getting a chest freezer? Like it has become such a difficult world to live in. I am in a very, very privileged position to be in a house or be in a flat that my husband and I own. Most people cannot do that. And so, like, as little as the space that we have is, the fact that we are able to purchase anything is a huge step up from like a lot of people living here in the UK. A lot of people cannot and will not ever be able to afford to buy a house, which is insane. I don't understand why. Because obviously, if you have an entire society of people, I'm going to be careful with how I say things. If you have an entire society of people who are unable to buy housing, doesn't that mean you as a government have kind of failed your people?
But also as well, it's like we have so many people that cannot afford to buy housing. Why are they building new houses every single year? A new crop of new builds pops up. Oh look, no, they're not even council houses. They're just new build houses that they're just gonna sell. And then what happens is quite a lot of them, especially over here where we are, and also like where my other half used to come from, which is Rochdale, a good amount of their housing plots that they were building, they got halfway through and then the business went bankrupt and they left them half done. We've also got houses all up and down the country where the people have been like evicted from them and all of that, and they've been boarded up. There are loads of empty houses where people, they're just not being used. They're being boarded up and they're being left. But I think we can get onto that subject on another thingy, because we are getting to the point. We're waxing lyrical a little bit. But at least we have another subject for another time to dive into. And I think that both of us
pissed off enough to continue recording and continue this conversation, because I have questions now.
Okay. All right. So this has been Underqualified and Over It.
If you made it this far, that's on you.
We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye. Bye now.